The Mariners sweep the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Seahawks have a pretty awesome draft class. We'll talk about that and more on today's episode of the 12th Inning Podcast. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the 12th Inning Podcast. My name is Rich, joined as always by my buddy Mitch. And yeah, the Mariners sweep the St. Louis Cardinals on the road, their first road series win period of the season so far, which is honestly kind of depressing to say that if we're being honest, but still a good series win nonetheless. But before we dive into these games individually, Mitch, I want to get your thoughts on this series as a whole, kind of what you thought about it, of what you were able to catch during the series. I know you had work and stuff, but yeah, just kind of what your thoughts were on this Cardinals series.
A good series win, a good road win finally, and unfortunately that's depressing to say that it's first road series win. But like you said, nonetheless, it is a good win, and hopefully we're getting on the right track now.
Honestly, that's kind of what I expect. We're going to later in this episode go over some players that we want to highlight. But, yeah, just in general, this team it seems like is turning a corner. This series win, I think, is I mean, you came into the series, the Mariners were 12-15, the Cardinals were 14-11. They were, as far as record concerned, the better team. Now, you could call into question the roster. The Mariners have a little bit more star power than I think the Cardinals do, but they showed it. They're a scrappy team. They helped in that crazy second game with the 30 runs or whatever it was between the two teams. But yeah, so let's get into the Cardinal series. We'll break it down game by game. First game, the Mariners win 3-2. George Kirby gets the win. Munoz gets the save. And honestly, this game was kind of, it was kind of a meh game. Like, it wasn't anything spectacular. Josh Naylor got a home run, and that ultimately what put you up to get the win. So it was still a good game. Obviously, a win is a win. But, I mean, coming into this game, Palente, I believe his name is, the Cardinals pitcher, the Cardinals starter, he was one of the worst strikeout pitchers in baseball. He got 8 strikeouts on this team, and that cannot be acceptable when you're going against one of the worst strikeout pitchers in the game, but nonetheless, came away with the win, albeit a little ugly. But moving on into game 2, this one was nuts. Sorry, I said 30 runs earlier. It was 20. It wasn't that crazy, but, this game started off, it just looked like a home run derby. Brian Wu just did not have the greatest game, unfortunately. It's just one of those starts you just kind of throw away and move on, because Brian Wu, he does not normally allow in 3 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned, and only getting 1 strikeout. Like, that's not Brian Wu. We know that's not the kind of pitcher he is, so really not the end of the world. It's just one of those starts. But this game was just insane. I mean, the Mariners had 19 hits. The Cardinals had 14 hits. Again, they combined for a combined 20 runs. This thing was just a home run derby. If you liked offense, this game was incredible. Mariners come away with the win 11-9. And then we get into today. Vibes are kind of high. You got Emerson Hancock on the bump, and it was a classic Mariners game. They win 3-2. Rob Refsnyder actually is the one who has the home run that put them up. In the top of the 9th, he gets the go-ahead home run, and this game was fine. Again, nothing spectacular. The pitching was pretty solid. Ferrer gets his first save in a Mariners uniform, but the story with this game is Refsnyder getting the home run, and just in general, the fact that this is a series sweep on the road. That's the biggest thing here is the Mariners may have finally exercised their road demons. We'll have to see. Because then we move on into the Minnesota series. The Minnesota Twins, the Mariners will be going there. Now, granted, the Twins, they're 12-16 right now. They're 3rd in the AL Central, so not doing hot as far as record is concerned. But when we look at these two teams against each other, you have the probable pitchers on MLB.com are listed as Luis Castillo and Prelip. That's an interest. I don't recognize his name. Are your projected starters for Game 1. Luis Castillo is 0-for-1 with a 5 ERA and 23 strikeouts. Prelip is 0-0 apparently with a 4.50 ERA and 6 strikeouts. So theoretically, Mariners should be able to get to them. Actually, none of the Mariners have seen this guy at all, so we have no information as far as any past the past matchups with the Twins pitcher on game 1. But Luis Castillo, I mean, some of the Twins pitchers have seen him a little bit. I mean, Bell has 31 at-bats. I'm going to look at home runs because that's the stuff that always scares me. And Clemens is the only one on the Twins who has seen Castillo and actually gotten a hit. But overall, the Twins have kind of, they've been up and down seeing Castillo. So it'll be interesting to see how game 1 goes in Minnesota. We'll likely have Logan Gilbert on the mound for game 2, and then Ryan will be on the mound for Minnesota. Logan Gilbert right now is 1 for 3 with a 4.36 ERA and 35 strikeouts. Ryan is 2 for 2 with a 3.90 ERA and 33 strikeouts. So he's having himself a pretty solid season so far, and Logan's kind of struggled a little bit here and there, but honestly I think that's less him struggling and more the offense just not really backing him up at all. Now, the Twins do have a couple home runs against him. Caratini has a home run, and Jeffers has a home run against Logan Gilbert. Otherwise, Jeffers, Larnach, Caratini, and Bell are the only ones who have any sort of batting average against him. So, and then with Ryan, Mariners have gotten a couple homers, Julio, of course, and Garver. So it'll be interesting to see these two. This will be the kind of pitchers matchup I would expect, honestly. And then moving on into game 3 in Minnesota to finish up the road trip, you have George Kirby going against Bradley. George Kirby so far is a 4-win, 2 losses, 2.97 ERA and 29 strikeouts, whereas Bradley is 3-1 with a 2.91 ERA and 37 strikeouts. So honestly, probably another pitcher's duel. And the Twins have seen Kirby okay. Bell has 2 home runs against him. Larnach has a home run, and Wallner have a home run. Whereas the Mariners, really the only one who has done any sort of damage against Bradley is Cal Raleigh, who has 2 home runs off of him. So it'll be interesting, again, like with the momentum from this last series, the sweep in St. Louis, it's going to be interesting to see how this Twins series go. Before we move on into our player kind of overview that we have, Mitch, I wanted to ask you kind of, what you have any thoughts or anything before we get into the player review?
Not really, unfortunately.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But I forgot. I did have 2 other notes that I wanted to make sure I mentioned before we move on into going into our players. And that is, as far as the St. Louis series, with Rob Refsnyder, his go-ahead home run. I have a tweet here from Alex Mayer, who, if you're not familiar, he's known for just getting insane, crazy stats that just are kind of unbelievable. We've mentioned him a couple times on the show, but he found this wonderful stat for Game 3 in St. Louis. Rob Refsnyder is the first Mariners player with a leadoff home run and a pinch hit, go-ahead or game-tying home run in the 9th inning or later in the same season, and he's done it as his first 2 home runs with Seattle, which is pretty crazy to do. Like he's picking and choosing his pitches for sure. But then as far as Minnesota, something to note for that series, the upcoming series in Minnesota, the weather does not look great for game 1, so we're gonna have to see. And for whatever reason, they don't have a freaking roof in Minnesota, so we're gonna have to see how this series goes as far as whether or not we'll have a doubleheader. But with that, we will move on into our player review. Now, obviously, Mitch and I have not uploaded a video in a little bit. I've been doing a little bit of the TikTok stuff more recently, but yeah, we haven't been able to get a video out for a bit, so we figured we would take the time to kind of highlight some players and how they have done so far this season. Mitch, do you want to go first with your players, or would you like me to go first?
We can go back and forth.
Okay. Do you want to start?
You can start.
Okay. So the first player I want to highlight is, of course, Julio. We'll end up highlighting 7 players in this segment, but it was going to be 6, but there are just some players that we couldn't not have pulled up. But so far, he's not he's not the slow Julio that I think everybody has kind of come to expect when it comes to the start of the season. I mean, in 112 at-bats, he's at a 250 average. He's doing solid. Now, a lot of it isn't slug. He's only slugging 330, but he's getting on base 33% of the time, which is awesome. Like, at this point in the season, Julio's striking out like crazy. He does have 29 strikeouts on the season, but frankly, he hasn't looked too terrible. He hasn't looked outmatched in a lot of it, and he's just slowly but surely heating up. He did have a slow start for about the first week or so, but when you look at the month as a whole, he's honestly not been doing that bad. And over the last 7 games, he has had 11 hits. He's hit a home run, walked twice, gotten 3 RBIs. He's only struck out 4 times. He's stolen 2 bases. He's batting .379 with a .483 slug. So the slug is kind of getting back up there a little bit, obviously, with those home runs. And yeah, he had a solid series in St. Louis. He got a hit in today's game. Today is the 26th, Sunday, as of us recording this. He got a hit on Sunday. He got a hit on Saturday. 3 hits actually on Saturday. So, you know, he had himself a good series, and I look to him to carry that momentum going into the Twins series. So, yeah, I'm going to defend Julio. He hasn't started as slow as he usually does. I'll stand by that.
Fair enough. Next player would be Cal Raleigh. He unfortunately did start the season very slow.
Very slow,
and
yes.
Everyone was worried about that, but he's definitely picked it up since the first few games. Kind of like all the Mariners honestly have. I'll say it as a team as a whole, the season started out shitty.
Yes, I would agree with that, yeah.
But you know what? With 162 games, I'll take beginning of the season being shitty and then the rest of the season being really good. Because first part of the season, while it does matter, definitely not as much as the Mariners like to make the last game of the season matter.
Yeah.
Let's not do that again. Anyway, but Cal, last 3 games in this series against St. Louis, he had 12 at-bats, 2 runs, 3 hits, a home run, an RBI, and he did strike out 4 times.
Yeah.
But granted, 2 of those were in this game that happened on Sunday, and the other 2 were 1-1 for the other 2 games. But
yeah.
Honestly, not bad considering also for the season he has 113 at-bats, 12 runs, 23 hits, 6 home runs, 15 RBIs. Does have 37 strikeouts, but that was mostly from the beginning of the season. Oh. Richard died.
Oh, no!
Did your light just die?
My light died because I had it plugged into a battery pack.
Oh.
Oh, man. I mean, this is fine, right? We could continue.
Sure. Anyway.
Why not? Sure. Oh my
he does have 37 strikeouts, which mostly is from the beginning of the season. He does have 2 stolen bases, so that's nice. And then he is slugging a .398, so he's doing pretty good. After the beginning of the season was shit.
I would expect him to slug a little bit more, but he has gotten a couple home runs in these last couple of games, like you've been saying. And he's still doing that Cal thing where when he gets hot, as far as home runs are concerned, they roll. They roll. So
I mean,
been really, really.
To be fair, last 15 games his slugging percentage is .541. Yeah. Last 7 it's .793. So it is going up. It's just so far on the season, he's at .398, and again, that's factoring in the shitty beginning of the season.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Now, so the next player I wanted to highlight was Cole Young, actually. I mean, this dude has been an absolute dog defensively, but he's also been great at the plate. He's already got 3 home runs. He's stolen a base. Well, I guess that's not really at the plate, but you know what I mean. He's already gotten 3 home runs, 11 walks, 14 RBI. 27 hits and 18 runs in those 27 hits. He's been doing really solid, and he's been at second base every single day. And he got a hit in every single game in this Cardinal series. He had 2 on Sunday, 3 on Saturday, and he had a hit in that first game on Friday. So he's been doing really, really solid. He only had 1 strikeout each game. I can live with that, you know. He has a 267 average on the season, a 351 OBP, and is slugging 406. So would like to see that go up a little bit more, but honestly, I can live with it. He's been consistent, and especially over these last 7 games, he's slugging 481. So he's getting there. It's slowly but surely raising up, as is his batting average. Again, getting on base each game in a series. You like to see it. So Cole Young has had himself an awesome season so far, and he's been doing fantastic defensively too. That's kind of been, I think, the pleasant surprise is he really worked on his defense, and it's really showing for sure.
Yeah. My next player is Leo Rivas. So last 3 games, he had a total of 8 at bats, 0 runs, unfortunately, but he did have 2 hits and 2 RBIs and only 1 strikeout in this series. So that's pretty good. And then
real quick, I want to highlight that RBI that he had. I mean, that was such an exciting instance, because I know you probably weren't able to watch the game, but that was a really high leverage situation. I think he had the game tying double or something like that. Yeah. He did great. So that was the Mariners have talked about how that was actually a really lively moment in the clubhouse, and they were celebrating that one pretty hard. So just wanted to highlight those RBIs for Leo Rivas.
Definitely. On the season, he has 68 at-bats, 4 runs, 11 hits. Still does not have a home run on the season yet.
It's fine.
He'll get there.
It's Leo. He doesn't, that's why
I'm sure he'll get one at least.
There's a reason that home run call with Leo Rivas actually against the Cardinals was Leo Rivas, what have you done? Because it was an incredible home run, and it was a home run from Leo Rivas. You don't see that.
Fair enough. He does have 7 RBIs, 24 strikeouts, but I mean, a lot of the Mariners have a high strikeout rate on the season right now because of, again, that shitty beginning to the season as well. Yeah, and it's the Mariners.
They're always a high strikeout team for whatever reason.
His average is only a 162 at the moment, and his slugging is a 206. So, but I'd like to see both of those go up, and it does seem like they are trending up because last 7 games, his average has gone up to a 182. So not by much, but it has gone up at least. And his slugging has gone up to a 227 in the last 7 games. So
yeah, and I mean, Leo Rivas is not one of those power hitters you need the slugging to be up super super high or anything. Honestly, for him, the thing you want to see go up is the average, and that's the thing that is trending upwards, which is good to see. So it's been nice to see him perform in some of those clutch situations, because he's not he's not an everyday player, and he's filled in well since Brendan Donovan has been on the injured list, and it was nice to see him have a few moments in this series for sure.
The only other thing that's a little concerning is his on-base percentage. It's going down, unfortunately. One of the few things on his that's actually going down, not up, because for the season, he's got 10 base on balls, last 15, only 8, and then the last 7, he hasn't gotten a single base on balls.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been playing his role a little bit more so far.
Defensive wise, he's doing great.
Series. Yeah, he's fine over in defense, but So the next player I want to highlight is Jose Ferrer. Actually, I feel like he's not really getting a whole lot of love. I feel like people aren't really talking about him as much, and I think that's because when you look at his box score, you look at his stat sheet, it's not lights out incredible. It looks a lot better now after this Twins series, because he was solid in this series. But
you mean the St. Louis series?
The St. Louis series, yeah. Sorry, the Twin series is what's coming up. He did solid in this series, and so definitely kind of help those numbers a little bit. But yeah, I mean, he's pitched 14 innings. He's got a 1.93 ERA in those 14 innings, 10 strikeouts, which is nice because he's not a huge strikeout guy by any means, and he's got a 1.57 WHIP. Like, I can live with that. That's fine. And over these last 7 games, his ERA has actually gone down. He's pitched a 1.29 ERA in these last 7 games. And he has a save. He got his first save in a Mariners uniform in Sunday's game, which was just awesome to see. And he is someone who has been trending up for sure, and I'm excited to see him just continue to get better and better, because I've liked what I've seen pretty much from the beginning, and I think he's been underrated since we picked him up, and when you look at the fact that Cole Young, when you look at the fact that Harry Ford has been struggling in the Nationals organization, it definitely makes that Jose Ferrer trade look a little bit better. So yeah, I've liked what I've seen from Ferrer so far this season.
Yeah. My last player is Emerson Hancock. I've liked Emerson since he debuted. Like, I've loved the guy, and I like seeing that he's doing better this year than he has in the last 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, the last 2 years were not good years for him.
Yeah.
They weren't horrible, but they were not great.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see that he's doing well, or at least better this year.
I'd say he's doing well.
Actually. Like, the St. Louis game, could have been better. He pitched 6 innings, allowed 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 base on balls, and 4 strikeouts. So
yeah,
not his best, but definitely not his worst.
No, he's looked more like an actual number 5 starter so far this year. And yeah, like you said, the St. Louis game wasn't amazing. He only had 4 strikeouts, but he's keeping the earned run to a minimum, which is what you're usually kind of concerned with for him. So, yeah, he's had himself a good season so far. He's kind of, his first start was really incredible, and he's kind of slowly tapered off since then, but he's still, like,
I mean, that sounds about right for the Mariners.
Right, but I mean, also, like, for Hancock, like, he was, that first game he pitched like a number 2 or number 1 starter, honestly, in most rotations. And the fact that he's kind of regressed more to like a 3, 4, 5, like, that's fine. That's where he's at. That's what he's supposed to be. So yeah, Hancock's had a good season so far. It's been really refreshing to see from him.
Yeah, on the season, 2 wins, 1 loss. His ERA is only a 2.86.
A sub-3 ERA is crazy.
Right. He started all 6 of the games he's played. He's pitched a total of 34.2. He has 32 strikeouts and a .98 WHIP. So,
yeah, averaging less than a 1 run per inning is walk, hit, whatever, per inning is crazy. That's incredible. So I think there's been some good stuff from Hancock, and like you, I know you were saying that you kind of always liked Hancock, and I'm the same way. Like, he's awesome. He's always been one of my favorite Mariners, and I've always kind of hoped that he could kind of reach that next level, and it seems like this season might be it.
And then one final thing on Emerson. It's an interesting fact. He's only the 2nd player in MLB history to have the first name Emerson.
Mm-hmm. Wait, really?
Yeah, there's only been 2 players in MLB history that had the first name Emerson. First one was Emerson Dickman, a pitcher who played his entire career with the Boston Red Sox. He played from 1936 to 1941.
Damn, it's been a while.
And then Emerson Hancock, who debuted in 2023.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's really cool. So,
and I'm pretty sure,
love that.
Yeah. So he's only the 2nd player with the first name Emerson to play at the major levels.
Makes sense.
There may be other players who had the first name Emerson that just never made it to the majors, but
yeah.
He's only the 2nd player with the first name Emerson to make it to the majors.
That's cool. I love that.
Both pitchers, too.
That's crazy. That's wild. Well, this last player that I want to highlight is not a pitcher, and his name is not Emerson. It's Josh Naylor. I want to highlight him because, I mean, he had such a bad start to this season, and he's really, really picked it up lately, and it's been wonderful to see. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, actually looking at – when you look at his splits, it's kind of insane. To give you a point of reference, over the season he has a 208 batting average, all right? Over his last 15 games, he's gotten it up to a 281. In his last 7 games, Josh Naylor is batting a 480 with a 533 on base and a 680 slugging. Like, Josh Naylor is figuring it out, and he had that go-ahead home run in that first game of the series, or yeah, in the second game, excuse me. He had the go-ahead home run, and he had a hit in every single game this last Cardinal series, and had multiple hits in games 1 and 3. Josh Naylor has been heating it up. He had 3 RBIs over the series, and it's been wonderful to see him kind of get back to what we've expected from Josh Naylor. Well, that is going to do it for the Mariners portion of today's episode. Mitch, do you have any closing thoughts before we switch over to the Seahawks and their draft class?
I just hope that with this sweep, it actually means that we're picking it up and going to get back to what they looked like near the end of the last season and into the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. I'm right there with you. I honestly do think that this Mariners team has turned a corner, and I'm really hoping they don't prove me wrong in Minnesota. But yeah, let's go talk about a pretty awesome draft from your Seattle Seahawks.
All right, Richard. Are you ready to learn about our draft class?
Yes. I haven't been keeping too close of attention. I did obviously post a video on the Jadarian Price draft pick, but yeah, give me what you got.
Speaking of Jadarian Price, he was our first round pick, number 32 overall. He's a running back, played for Notre Dame 2023, 24, and 25.
Mm-hmm.
So his career with Notre Dame, he had 280 carries, 1,692 yards. His average is about 6 yards per carry. He had 21 touchdowns, and his longest run for his career was 70 yards. That was in 2024. But not only is he a good rushing running back, he can also receive, too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He had 15 career receptions with 162 yards, 10.8 yards per reception. He had 3 receiving touchdowns, and his longest reception was 40 yards. That was in 2023.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously didn't get a ton of touches because he wasn't the starter at Notre Dame. He was behind Jeremiah Love for I think, all of his time at Notre Dame. But when he got his hands on the ball, he made sure that he was going to do something with it. And I honestly, like, looking at some of his highlights that I saw when he was drafted, it looks like a good replacement for K9 because he kind of runs like K9, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my comparison here, as far as I wrote down comparisons for our draft to current or former Seahawks.
Okay.
And Jadarian Price, I do have compared to as K9.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way that he cuts and is patient on his running.
Yeah.
So
he has
something
that
also
kinda,
real quick that's interesting. He does in 2024 for Notre Dame. He has a single solo tackle on defense.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I love that. That's cool. Well, maybe we'll throw him in there if we need him. But yeah, no, I was excited about this pick, to be completely honest with you. It seemed like some Seahawks were kind of divided on it in the moment. But I think I've kind of seen more of a positive outlook on this pick as the days have gone. So yeah, I love this pick. I think it filled a need that you had at running back, and I'm excited to see what Price can do in a Seahawks uniform. I'm curious if he'll end up taking the number 24. I think I can't remember who, but I believe there's a player who already has 24 right now on the Seahawks. But I don't know. It'll be interesting because that was the number he wore in college, and obviously, there's a very famous number 24 running back associated with the Seattle Seahawks. But yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do on this team, and I think it was a great pick.
Yeah, a great first-round pick, especially considering we lost K9. As much as everyone was freaking out about us losing K9, I wasn't as worried about it. I
Yeah.
figured we would be able to draft someone that could replace K9, and we do have Charbonnet coming back. So, Charbonnet is probably not going to be 100% right away.
Yeah.
But you know what? If Jadarian Price can come in and be the starter, awesome.
Yeah. No,
But
100%.
which I think he can.
Yeah.
I think he could come in and be the starter, which I do feel bad because that means Charbonnet is, once again, just the second running back. But that he plays that role very well. He is our touchdown getter. He is our I run through people.
I honestly think that it's going to be more of a running back 1A, running back 1B, even more so than it was when it was K9 and Sharps. So I don't think either one of them will be a clear starter. For me personally, I think if anybody's going to be a starter, it would probably be Charbonnet, just because he's the vet. He deserves it. It'd be kind of fucked up, to be honest, to not give him the start.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at it, Russell Wilson got the job as a rookie over someone we paid a shit ton for. So
this is true. This is very true.
Sometimes the rookies come in and they're just better than the veteran.
Yeah,
it happens. Yeah. I mean, hey, look at Gray Zabel blocking versus Anthony Bradford.
Oh,
anyway,
God.
I won't stop bringing that up. But our second round pick, number 64 overall, was safety Bud Clark from TCU.
Yes, I loved this pick so much.
So, Bud Clark played for TCU for 6 years.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. Jesus.
He played for them in 2020, and then 21, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Wow, that's crazy.
I think 2020 wasn't ever really considered an actual season or even school year, so I think that's what happened, and that's why he was able to play for 6 years technically.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's a lot of experience coming in, so that's good.
Oh yeah. But he played his whole college career with TCU.
Mm-hmm.
So career-wise, total tackles 215 as a safety.
That's crazy.
139 of those were solo tackles, 76 were assisted, and then he had 20 passes defended. He has only 1 sack on his whole college career, 1 forced fumble, 15 interceptions, 112 interception yards specifically, and 2 touchdowns.
Dude, this guy is a freak. He's so versatile. He's the fact that the NFL let this guy fall to the Seahawks, I think they're going to regret it. Putting this guy back there with Amon Wari and Julian Love, oh my God, this guy is going to be scary.
So my comparison for him, for current and former Seahawk, because after watching his highlights, I compare him to both as far as how he tackles to Amon Wari, and how quick he is and how knowledgeable he seems to just get to the ball. I could also compare him to Earl Thomas.
Yeah, he definitely has that type. And honestly, everybody's been calling him the replacement for Kobe Bryant, and I do agree. And I honestly think he'll be more than just a replacement. I think with under Mike McDonald, I think he could be an upgrade.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I love Kobe Bryant. I was sad to see him go. Yeah. But I think he could also be a replacement, and I think Mike McDonald can also upgrade. I think 100%. He can make this guy be an upgrade. But round 3 pick, number 99 overall, was cornerback Julian Neal.
Yep.
Julian Neal played his first 3 years of college at Fresno State and his last year at Arkansas State. No, just Arkansas. There's too many colleges, okay?
I know, right?
But yeah, his first 3 years were at Fresno State, and then his last year he played at Arkansas. So his total tackles 99,
Mm-hmm.
solo are 61, assisted 38, 17 passes defended, 1 sack, no forced fumbles, 4 interceptions with 43 interception yards, no touchdowns.
Solid. Like he's a good pickup for sure. I also see here, according to Pro Football Focus, on 48 targets on this last season in Arkansas, he held quarterbacks to a passer rating of 82.5. That's insane. Oof. He's such a good replacement, and he's basically the replacement to Reek, honestly. And I'm excited to see what this guy can do in a Seahawks uniform. I believe he was the one who only bought one hat, and it was a Seahawks hat because I guess some company messed up his hat order, and so he told his grandma, just go buy a Seahawks hat, and he gets drafted by the Seahawks. So it was meant to be, and I think this guy is going to be awesome.
Definitely. My comparison for him, after watching highlights, he looks like Richard Sherman. Prime
Ooh.
Richard Sherman.
Okay.
So I think he'll be really good. And then next one, round 5, number 148 overall, was guard Bo Stevens, or Steffens. I don't know how he pronounces his last name, but Bo Stevens from Iowa. I don't have any stats on him because he is a guard, so there's not really stats on him. But I do have a comparison, and I think he looks a lot like Gray Zabel on how he blocks, and he can play either side of guard. They had Iowa had him playing both sides, both left and right guard. So we have Gray Zabel on the left already. Put him on the right, and I think we'll be good. Get rid of Anthony Bradford. Fuck him.
Well, that's the thing is people have been saying that, you know, this draft pick definitely is competition. This is going to be Anthony Bradford's competition. He's going to be fighting for that starting job at right guard. You know, I know we don't really have his stats on him, but I mean, this guy was first team All-American. He's ranked number 4 among all FBS guards in according to Pro Football Focus. He was number 1 in pass. He was number 1 in pass block grading and number 7 in run block grading as well. So, a crazy good 5th round pick, I think, and you know, could signal a great partnership with Gray Zabel. I'm really hoping that that this guy can live up to his potential, because he can definitely go crazy.
Yeah. Watching highlights, he's a great run blocker and was also amazing in the pass blocking as well. So
yeah, that's why he was ranked so highly by Pro Football Focus. So.
And then round 6, pull this on. And then round 6, number 199 overall, was wide receiver Emmanuel Henderson Jr. from Kansas.
I don't actually
Richard
know.
has no thoughts.
No, I was just gonna, because I was pulling up the Seattle sports draft kind of breakdown. I was gonna say, like, I don't really at this point in the draft was kind of when I stopped kind of paying attention to who we got. So this one's all you, brother.
Fair enough. So he only played 2022, didn't play 2023, and then played 2024 and 25. 22 and 24 he played for Alabama, and then 25 he played for Kansas, which is also Tyler Lockett's university.
Yep. That is
and true. So his career, he had 50 receptions, 862 yards, average was 17.2, 5 touchdowns, and his longest reception was 93, and that was in 2025 with Kansas.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a 6th-round wide receiver pick when you already have such a loaded wide receiver room in Jackson Smith-Njigba, Rashid Shaheed, Cooper Kupp, Torrey Horton, Cody White, Jake Bobo, not to mention all the tight ends. I mean, he's going to have his work cut out for him making a spot in this roster, but, you never know what's going to happen. It'll be interesting to see what'll happen for him.
Yeah. What's funny is the fact that this is Tyler, like, he's coming from Tyler Lockett's alma mater.
Mm-hmm.
I compare him to Tyler Lockett watching his highlights. Just early Tyler Lockett before he unfortunately broke his leg.
Right.
But just the way that he goes for the ball, his toe tapping, like he's all like most college players when you watch them, they make sure to get 1 foot in because that's the college rule. They only have to get 1 foot in. Right. He's already making sure he's getting both feet in. At least with Kansas. I don't know about with Alabama if he was doing that, but I mean, it doesn't matter. This was his last year, and he was already preparing for the NFL basically by making sure he got both feet in every time he caught the ball on the sideline.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
so,
if he doesn't pan out on the Seahawks, he seems like he's got enough talent that I hope he can pan out somewhere else.
Oh yeah, he'll make a team. If it's not the Seahawks, it will definitely be somewhere. I just hope it's not a career-ending team like the Browns or the Jets.
Yeah, we'll hope for the best for him for sure.
Now, granted, the Jets actually tend to only kill quarterback careers, not so much other careers. The Browns tend to kill everybody's
one
career.
wide receiver from the Jets in the last 15 years.
Anyway, so round 7.
Exactly.
First round 7 pick, number 236 overall, was cornerback Andre Fuller.
From Toledo, which, fun fact, this is actually the
Toledo.
first player the Seahawks have ever drafted from Toledo.
Oh.
And that's all I have.
Didn't know that. Fair enough. So his career, 80 tackles, 48 solo tackles, 32 assists, 16 passes defended, 1 sack, 4 interceptions. Jeez. 149 interception yards.
Wow.
And 1 touchdown.
Damn. Well, so like he could turn into something. I don't know. I have a hard time with like when it comes to like 7th-round picks. I'm like, who are these people? What?
Fair
Madden
enough.
create a character. No offense to these guys. Like, I mean, no offense. Like, they're obviously doing things better than I could, but I'm just not very good at following along to drafts. We'll see how that goes next year.
Fair enough. Their second round 7 pick at number 242 overall was defensive tackle Devin Eastern from Minnesota. He had a total of 97 tackles, 43 solo, 54 assists, 5 passes defended, 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles.
Yeah, and all I'll say on him is his 2025 was a really, really good year. He had 38 combined tackles and a career high 2.5 sacks. So, we'll see if there's anything there.
And
had a solid 2025.
Oh yeah. Well, that's his career. 2025 was meh. But anyway, I forgot real quick. Andre Fuller. I compared him to Cam Chancellor actually.
Yeah,
he hits pretty hard like Cam Chancellor does.
Yeah, I think I heard something about him saying that like he kind of models his game after Cam Chancellor. That might have been somebody else. I'm not 100% sure.
And then Devin Eastern, I compared to current Seahawks player Leonard Williams, but he also reminds me of Red Bryant.
Okay, I'd be okay with a discount Leonard Williams.
Yeah, I mean round 7, number 242. If he turns
but
out as good as Leonard Williams or Red Bryant,
God.
like
That would be insane.
Like I said, he reminds me of that. Again, these are college highlights, so obviously them going from against college players to NFL players where everyone is amazing.
Yeah.
Could be a little bit less, but just from the way he plays, I think you saying discount Leonard Williams is like the perfect comparison.
Yeah.
And then our final pick was round 7, number 255 overall, cornerback Michael Dansby from Arizona.
Hell yeah.
So he had 87 total tackles, 63 solo, 24 assists, 24 passes defended, 7 interceptions, 103 interception yards, and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, and looking at his season in Arizona, 12 games, 2 interceptions, 10 pass defended, a fumble recovery and 19 tackles. That's solid. Like
Oh yeah.
he could, again, that's you're gonna say that for every single one of these guys. Like, might turn into something. I don't know. I will say he does have,
Especially round 6 and
yeah,
7. Who knows? Like, I do hope Emmanuel Henderson Jr. does pan out, whether it be for the Seahawks or any other team. I hope he does get to go onto a team that doesn't end his career.
yeah. And one last thing I'll say for Dansby Swanson, 100-yard pick six. Hell yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what he could turn into. But when you kind of look at all of these
Real
draft
quick,
picks,
him though, Michael Dansby, I do compare to 3 different Seahawks.
Oh, we got a
none
Chimera
of which
Hawk.
None of which play for the Seahawks anymore. But I honestly compared him to the 3 main people of the Legion of Boom, which was Earl, Cam, and Sherman.
Damn. Okay.
Do I think he is actually as good as them? No. But if he could be even half or even a quarter of all 3,
that'll play.
That'll pan out, especially on Mike McDonald's defense. Like, if you could be a quarter of those 3 and then a quarter of yourself, essentially, Mike McDonald can make something of that.
100%. And honestly, like, Mike McDonald can make something of all these guys. Like, this was such a good draft, I think, when you look at it as a whole. I'd say they filled just about every single hole that they need to. You would have maybe liked to see them get an edge, just because that position, DeMarcus Lawrence, he's getting older. He was considering retirement earlier this off season. So, like, you're gonna need
Go ahead.
I was gonna say you're gonna need an option at edge for sure, but other than that, I mean, you filled every hole you needed to.
Honestly, watching Devin Eastern's highlights, he loses a little bit of weight. I think he's actually fast enough to be an edge rusher.
You think so?
Oh yeah, he's already pretty fast. Like I said, if he loses a little bit of weight, he only gets faster, and I think he runs behind DeMarcus Lawrence. He'd be a good edge rusher. And honestly, getting him at round 7, number 242, you don't have to pay him a lot either.
Yeah, for sure. That's the fun thing with the draft is, like, some of these guys, you never know, like, they might switch positions, so it'll be kind of interesting. But yeah, like I said, I think the draft as a whole was pretty solid. Mitch, what grade would you give this draft?
I would give this draft an A-, between an A- and a B+.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I say that is because while I love Emmanuel Henderson Jr., like, I loved his highlights and everything, I think picking up a wide receiver wasn't the best option. And if they picked up a different position there, honestly, any other position that we actually needed, it would move up to an A for me. I don't think it would be an A+. This wasn't an A+ draft this year, not in my opinion, at least. But it would definitely be an A if we had picked up another guard there instead, or another defensive tackle, like you said, an edge. Like an edge.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen them pick an edge there, maybe, because I definitely think that there were some opportunities for sure. Because I agree, I would give it an A-, and really just that Henderson pick and the edge pick and not getting an edge are kind of all that takes it down for me. Because you got to think about it, like, the Seahawks were drafting last because you just came off a Super Bowl win, and everybody was like, holy hell, mass exodus from the Seahawks. All these free agents leave. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, it's the Seahawks, y'all. Like, they draft. That's what we do. So yeah, I would give it an A- as well. Just kind of rounding out some of my personal final thoughts on the Seahawks. As far as draft the next year's draft is concerned, according to Over the Cap, the Seahawks are projected to receive 4 compensatory balance picks for 2027 as a result of all those free agent departures, which would give them 11 picks in next year's draft right now, and that's after them trading and stuff like that. So they're primed to do some good stuff next year, especially come draft day. So, 11 draft picks next year. That gives you some capital to play around with, because they could very well maybe trade for an edge. You could see something like that, or a free agent. It'll be kind of interesting to see what happens there. But that's kind of all I really have for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more. The only other thing was around everybody that was giving draft grades.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Everyone that was giving draft grades, it seems like the consensus from them is that the Seahawks had a B- draft.
Yeah,
I don't think it was that low, but I do understand.
Yeah,
I think that wide receiver pick is what really brought it down for everyone, honestly.
Yeah.
Because, again, Emmanuel Henderson Jr., he is great. He looks great. And I honestly think he deserved to go to a different team, a team that actually needs him.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
The Seahawks didn't need him. We don't need him. And if he pans out, it'll be amazing, and I'll love it. That'll be great. I hope he does. I hope he does make the Seahawks and actually can,
turn
make
into
something there. But at the same time, we don't really need him. And honestly, I hope what the Seahawks do is use him, honestly, as a trade aspect to trade him for an edge rusher.
Yeah.
Because he is a good receiver. He is a good trade. You can use him to trade. That would suck as a rookie going on to an NFL team and immediately getting traded. But honestly, if I was in his position, I would rather be traded to a team that's going to be able to use me, and I can, even if I can't start, at least maybe start next year in my sophomore year. Whereas on the Seahawks, you're probably not seeing the field for a while.
He's basically he's basically any center fielder in the Mariners organization. You're not gonna go to the MLB because Julio's there forever. So, but like we keep saying, overall, really, really solid draft. And it's been a good week for Seattle sports in general. Honestly, I think the Storm are back in play. The Sounders are back in play. The Torrent, they're working to try and get that first draft pick. It's been a good week. So it's nice to get back on here and record again, because it's been a little while. And if you've listened this far in, we really appreciate it. I know that my camera is probably a little choppy, especially since the light went out. But we're making do with what we got here. But any closing thoughts before we wrap it up, Mitch?
No, that's all I got.
Hell yeah. Well, we will catch y'all in the next episode. Keep an eye out for that on YouTube. Also, keep an eye on the TikTok, the Twitter, stuff like that. Always trying to be as active as I can on there. And, like we always say here at the 12th Inning Podcast, Trident's up. Go Mariners.
12 is 1. Go Hawks.